man and his wife visited their doctor for a checkup. The doctor wanted to examine the old man first. After examining the old man, he said, "I'm surprised you are in such excellent health." The old man replied, "I attribute it to my good and clean life." "Your good and clean life?" "Yes, I have lived such a good and clean life. The Lord himself turns the light on for me when I use the bathroom, and the Lord himself turns the light off for me when I leave." "The Lord himself did this?" "Yes," insisted the old man. The doctor nodded politely and then said, "I will need to examine your wife next." The old man nodded and left the room. The doctor then examined the wife. After completing his examination, he said, "You are in excellent health." "How is my husband?" the wife asked. "Physically, he's fine, but I'm worried about his mental health." "Why?" the wife asked. "He insists the Lord himself turns the light on for him when he uses the bathroom, and the Lord himself turns the light off when he leaves." The wife shouts, "My God, the damn fool is peeing in the fridge again!"
Two brothers, aged 92, 94 and 96, lived in the same house together. One night, the 96-year-old fills up the bath, puts his foot in and pauses. Then he yells down the stairs, "Was I getting in or out of the bath?" The 94-year-old yells back, "I don't know, I'll come up and see." So he starts up the stairs. Then halfway up, he pauses and then yells, "Was I coming up the stairs or was I coming down?" The 92-year-old is sitting at the kitchen table having a coffee listening to his brothers. He shakes his head and says, "I sure hope I never get that forgetful." He knocks on the wood for good luck. Then he yells, "I'll come up and help both of you as soon as I see who's at the door." Sorry.
I look in the mirror the other day and I says to her, I says, "Honey, I look in the mirror and all I see is a fat, ugly old man. And I need you to give me a compliment." She says, "All right then, your eyesight is damn near perfect."
An elderly man rear-ended a guy driving an expensive sports car. Enraged, the guy hops out and confronts the old man. "Look what you did to my car," he yells. "You're going to give me $10,000 right now or I'm going to beat you to a pulp." "Oh my," says the old man. "I don't have that kind of money. Let me call my son. He trains dolphins and he will know what to do." "Dolphins," the other driver huffs, while rolling his eyes. The old man pulls out his phone, dials his son, and just as his son answered, the irate man snatches the phone away from the old man. "So, you're a dolphin trainer, huh? Well, your old man here just rear-ended my car, and I need 10 grand right now, or I'm going to beat you and your old man to a pulp." "I'll be there in 10 minutes, says the voice calmly on the other end. Exactly 10 minutes later, a Jeep pulls up, and a guy hops out and proceeds to pulverize the bully, leaving him in a heap on the side of the road. When he finished, he walked over to his father and said, "For the last time, Dad, I train SEALs, Navy SEALs, not dolphin."
I am 73 years old. Life expectancy for men is 76 years. Life expectancy for women is 81 years. I figure if I transition,
An 85-year-old man was requested by his doctor for a sperm count as part of his physical examination. The doctor gave the man a jar and said, "Take this jar home and bring back a semen sample tomorrow." The next day, the 85-year-old man reappeared at the doctor's office and gave him the jar, which was as clean and empty as on the previous day. The doctor asked, "What happened?" And the man explained, "Well, Doc, it's like this. First I tried with my right hand, but nothing. Then I tried with my left hand, but still nothing. Then I asked my wife for help. She tried with her right hand, then with her left, still nothing. She tried with her mouth, first with the teeth in, then with her teeth out, still nothing. We even called up Arlene, the lady next door, and she tried too, first with both hands, then an armpit, and she even tried squeezing it between her knees, but still nothing." The doctor was shocked. "You asked your neighbor?" The old man replied, "Yep, none of us could get the jar open." 3 old mischievous grandmas were sitting on a bench outside a nursing home. About then, an old grandpa walked by, and one of the old grandmas yelled out saying, "We bet we can tell exactly how old you are." The old man said, "There ain't no way you can guess it, you old fools." One of the old grandmas said, "Sure we can. Just drop your pants and undershorts and we can tell your exact age." Embarrassed just a little, but anxious to prove they couldn't do it, he dropped his drawers. The grandmas asked him to first turn around a couple of times and to jump up and down several times. Then they all piped up and said, "You're 87 years old." Standing with his pants down around his ankles, the old gent asked, "How in the world did you guess?" Slapping their knees and grinning from ear to ear, all three old ladies happily yelled in unison, "We were at your birthday party yesterday."
A new study finds that married men live a longer, healthier life. Yeah, but for what?
Husband and wife are sitting in a diner having breakfast. The husband leans over and asks his wife, "Do you remember the first time we had sex together over 50 years ago? We went behind the village tavern where you leaned against the back fence and I made love to you." "Yes," she says, "I remember it well." "Okay," he says, "how about taking a stroll around there again and we can do it for old time's sake?" "Oh, Jim, you old devil, that sounds like a crazy but good idea." A police officer sitting in the next booth heard their conversation and, having a chuckle to himself, he thinks to himself, "I've got to see these two old-timers having sex against a fence. I'll just keep an eye on them so there's no trouble." So, he follows them. The elderly couple walks along, leaning on each other for support, aided by walking sticks. Finally, they get to the back of the tavern and make their way to the fence. The old lady lifts her skirt and the old man drops his trousers. As she leans against the fence, the old man moves in. Then suddenly they erupt into the most furious sex that the policeman has ever seen. This goes on for about 10 minutes, while both are making loud noises and moaning and screaming. Finally, they both collapse, panting on the ground. The policeman is amazed. He thinks he has learned something about life and old age that he didn't know. After about half an hour of lying on the ground recovering, the old couple struggle to their feet and put their clothes back on. The policeman is still watching and thinks to himself, "This is truly amazing. I've got to ask them what their secret is." So, as the couple passes, he says to them, "Excuse me, but that was something else. You must have had a fantastic sex life together. Is there some sort of secret to this?" Shaking, the old man is barely able to reply, "50 years ago, that wasn't an electric fence."
Old man went to church one morning, went into confession. Inside he says to the priest, "Father, I'm 80-year-old widower, 11 grandchildren. Last night I met 2 beautiful flight attendants. They took me home and I made love to both of them twice."
Really?
The priest says, "Well, my son, when was the last time you were in confession?" He said, "Never, Father, I'm Jewish." The man replies, "So why are you telling me?" He said, "I'm telling everybody."